I'd like to call the Executive Finance Committee meeting to order, please. And Mr. Thornton, would you do our invocation, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. Would appreciate a little bit cooler weather, but we thank you for this beautiful day. Father, be with these council people as they sit around and make decisions for our people. Make them do the right decisions. Make them make the decisions with their hearts. And bless our troops that are in harm's way today, and be with each and every one of them and their families. Heavenly Father, please bring this nation closer. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Kara Cowan Watts. Bill England.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Bradley Cobb. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghop. Meredith Fraley. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskin Jr.
Here.
Tyna Glory Jordan. Present. Curtis Snell.
Here.
Chris Soap. David Thornton. We do have a quorum.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Thank you. I would entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of the June 30th regular session.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next are reports. And first is the financial treasurer's report. Ms. Kessler.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
You have my written report. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them. I do want to let you know the budgets will be delivered tomorrow. Budget office is working diligently on finishing those up.
Very good. We appreciate that. Lots of work.
Yes.
Any questions for Ms. Kessler?
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Cherokee Nation Businesses. Mr. Stewart.
All right, good afternoon. I'm going to follow suit. You have the report. Just overall, net income is holding similar to last year. Our priorities right now from a management standpoint are the construction projects that we have. We have 4 in process, and those are all taking a significant amount of time and resource to get them kicked off. We're also in the midst of our budget. We've given preliminary estimates to Callie, and so we'll have formal budgets. I'll review those next week. We'll go to our committee and approval process. They'll be at the board for approval, and then we'll have a final number back to Callie. I've handed out a summary of our Cherokee Citizen Development Program. It looks like this, and the kind of the meat and potatoes of this is on page. Let's see what page this is on. Well, it looks like this. It's 3 or 4. Okay, it's the colored slide. So the elements of the program are kind of sliced up into 16 pieces. And in this packet, there's a little summary of each of those. That's just kind of a framework for what we're trying to do. We have a lot more work to do on each of the elements of this, but the purpose is for us to nail down a program of work from start to finish, from elementary school all the way through employment and then succession planning. And along in that, there's all different, a lot of different elements of that. And so we're going to align all of the resources of the tribe, the resources of the business, and then put those in here and then allocate money to accomplish those goals. So the budget at this point, the development budget looks like that. Each of those 16 plus the salaries and benefits is outlined that equals the 2.76 million that was approved by the board. So we will report the status of this program and what we're doing every month at our regularly scheduled board meeting, and I will keep you apprised probably quarterly, more often if you want to, But if you have any questions about this, just give me a call and we'll tell you what we're doing. So this is an absolutely great program, and I'm looking forward to putting it in place. So
We appreciate your
if
development.
you have any questions about the business, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Stewart? But we do appreciate this very much.
You're welcome. We'll keep you, as we get more to it, we'll keep you updated.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much. Next is Career Services, Ms. Kelly.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, this past week, we were notified through the State Department of Commerce that our group was recognized for getting the Work-Ready Workforce Certification. I don't know if you know what that is. What it is the Northeast area, which is the 7 counties down in the EODD district, the 7 counties up in the Grand Gateway district. We actually put people to work getting them work key certified and work ready. So these 14 counties of the Cherokee Nation are certified through the State Department of Commerce as state work-ready workforce. So if you were looking at a business, say in the industrial park at Mays County or one in Adair County or here, you could actually help attract a business to locate here because they are certified as what they call a work-ready community based on the high school accreditation scores and also from the work key scores. And I want to thank C&E because Chris Paxton and Bob Schooley allowed us to come in to do some testing with some of their employees that were already gainfully employed to help us get those numbers up, because you have to have a workforce that's coming in to the workforce that you test, and then you also have people that are already gainfully employed. And Cherokee Nation was able to get those numbers for the whole Northeast and Eastern District as a result of pulling that up there. So the State Department of Commerce is supposed to recognize us for our efforts here in the next few months. Also, the Job Corps got accolades as well from Northeastern State University last week. They were spotlighted through the International Learning Styles Conference in Broken Arrow, and they're to be applauded for their efforts of what they did last week. So we're just really excited about all the good things that's going on with
Congratulations on those.
that. Our also day work training will start in Roland and Salisaw within the next few weeks. I got notification from Bob Thomas that they're going to start rolling that out, so we'll be working in Sequoia County with the C&E at those 2 locations, which is badly needed because Sequoia County is running second to Cherokee County on the number of people that are coming in every week for day work. And it's got one of the highest unemployment rates, and we need those work sites, and we don't have them in Sequoia County. The other thing is Catoosa and West Salem Springs. I believe Andy reported that we've got about 30 to 40 in the pipeline on a weekly basis in Catoosa, and we have about 20 to 30 in the pipeline at West Salem Springs. So those offices are taking on, and we are getting people coming into those offices. And I think Curtis can attest to that. I think he was up there one day this week. And the construction projects, we were requested to hire a couple of clerks that could work with us on our construction sites. There's a lot of things going on with construction in our Terrell operations, and John and them interviewed, and they have got a couple of clerks that will be coming on board to work with them so that we have people there to work with us on the paperwork for the people that are going out and doing the monitoring. We've just got a lot of construction going on right now. Also, next week, we'll be doing our Job Corps corporate review. Horizons will be here, and they'll be working with our evaluation and compliance group, and they'll be over there all week doing the corporate review for the Job Corps Center next week. And we've got basic computer classes that will be starting in 4 of our job resource centers, and this is to help businesses because businesses are telling us that they have got a need for people that just know how to turn a computer on and are not afraid to use it. So we're doing some basic computer classes during the month of August, 2 nights a week, 3 hours a night, and my staff is actually teaching the computer classes. So if you know of anybody that's working out there that needs help, we will have it Claremore, Tahlequah, Salisaw, and I believe West Salem Springs. That's it. Do y'all have any questions?
Any questions? Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
How'd the job fair go in Anita?
From my understanding, it went really well. Dana said that she'd like for us to do another one up in that area in January.
Great.
And from what I understand, there was about 40 or 45 people that came in and actually got bites on some things, so it was pretty good. We've got one planned at Catoosa for the Manhattan and Mike Ross, and also for Flintco. One will be in the morning, one will be in the afternoon, and those will be a lot bigger. But we're planning to do that. Where we've got a lot of construction going on, we're seeing that maybe we need to do that in some of the other locations as well,
Okay.
so that we can get local people.
I heard good things. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, Jody?
Councilor Fisher.
Diane, we had this discussion earlier with Sharon Wright, and I asked her about did we apply Taro or Indian preference to the two sole source of contract individuals? Would you please check on that for me?
Sole source individuals.
Yeah, they said they was on contract. They contracted with them. There's a big discussion in here. She'll know what we're talking about.
Okay,
Could you check in that for me, please, Diane?
yes.
Thank you.
Any
Anything
other
else?
questions? Yes.
Diane, in general, we are applying Indian preference, Cherokee preference to all jobs now, is that right?
Yes, ma'am?
Whether that would be a contracted position or a regular position, are we applying it to both, or is it just to a regular position?
Now, when the executive order was signed in February of 2010, that applied across the board with any positions that we have for personnel, and it also applied with positions on contracts. Whereas you had Cherokee preference first, Indian preference, and then you had, on contracts, you had primary Cherokee Indian-owned businesses.
And is that for, on the contractual part, is that just for goods and services, or is it for individual employment too?
On the individual employment for the contractors, they are supposed to be applying it. And if they don't have anybody to fill the bill, then that's where we come in to work with them to help them. And if we can't help them to get their Indian preference met, then they work out an agreement where they will pay the fine on the contracts.
Do you ever recall the Marshal Service asking you for assistance in obtaining individuals for contracted positions?
No, ma'am.
So are you making the assumption then that if some were filled, they must have been filled with Indians, with Cherokees?
I'm really not clear on what kind of contracts you're talking about.
But in general, if it's a contract for either goods or services or people, we're to try to find a Cherokee first,
Yes, ma'am.
and then a person of
And
Indian
if you
preference
can't, then you have to
next.
write a justification as to why you didn't. And normally, you would interview, you don't find anybody, you would interview a second time, and on that third round, if you haven't found anybody, then you would write a justification that you couldn't, and you needed to get the thing filled. And you could probably hire without.
But that's the third
Usually
step.
third tier.
Okay, all right,
Because
thank you.
right now, our policy says you go in-house first. If there's anybody in-house, then you go out, and then if you don't fill it, then you can ask for another panel, or you can ask for it to be re-advertised. And usually on that third round, if you haven't found anybody, especially in some of those high-tech positions, those are usually the ones.
So if we were to ask through a GRA for someone's justification for hiring a non-Indian, there should be something in the file
Yes,
that
ma'am.
tells us
Yes, ma'am.
why
Yes,
they did not hire a person of Cherokee descent, is that correct?
that is correct. That is correct. We all are required to do that.
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
Any other questions for Diane? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Next is Commerce, Ms. Knight.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have a copy of my report, and I'll be happy to try to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Anna? You're going to get off easy.
All right, that works for me, thank you.
Next is the Cherokee National Historical Society, Mr. Tilley.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
See ya. You do have my report, and I did want to add one thing I wanted to call attention to. Our village supervisor, Tommy Wildcat, received an award for the Outstanding Supervisor of the Year from Career Service for his work with youth, and I think this is well deserved, and it was great that he got that recognition. I get up here a lot and talk about numbers, or if you read my reports, I'll throw the numbers out. And the numbers are good. They're exciting to see that we're up 7%. We've been climbing 72% over the last 5 years in visitors, and that's wonderful. But we need to keep in mind that it's about individuals too. In my report, I attached a little appendix of some of the things people are saying about us. And if, when you have some time, if you'll read those, I think they're interesting to look at and see. And it's about the people who come to see us, also about the people that work with us while we're there. And we're excited that Tommy has taken on the task of working with the folks at Career Services are sending us. There's quite a few that have come. I think this year, between them and volunteer hours, we've logged over 9,000 hours since January. And most of those are in the village. So it's been a pretty exciting time, and we're glad that we can find meaningful work for so many people, and I hope it's having a positive effect on people's lives. So thank you. Do you have any questions?
Any questions, Mr. Taylor? Okay. Appreciate it very much. Next is the Cherokee Nation Foundation. Ms. Gilliland.
Good afternoon. You have my report in front of you, as well as our 2010 audit. We did complete our audit early this year. A couple of notable points are that we did increase our net assets from $1,560,000 to $837 to $2,015,172. We were able to double the number of scholarships that we gave out last year. I also have the balance sheet for this quarter included, and our net assets are up 12% this year. Our most notable change that we'll be making to our scholarship program is we will be opening our scholarship September 1st of this year, and we will be 100% online.
Any questions for Kimberly? Okay. Thanks very much. Next item are our consent items. First is the Taro certifications, which were in your packet, is mailed out.
Move to approve.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, those are approved. Next is the cemetery restoration assistance applications, and there was a new one passed out. Do I hear a second? Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, just clarification, is that the report that has 4 items for this month?
Yes.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, those are approved. Next is the community assistance, and a new one of those has been passed out also. Move for approval.
Second with a friendly.
Councilor Austin.
I'd like to send the balance of District 9 funds, $82 to the Noweta Cherokee Foundation in Noweta. Noweta. For organizational support.
What's that dollar amount?
The balance, which is $82.
Oh, okay. I assume you accept that second with that friendly amendment?
Yes. Thank you. Also have a correction on your report. The second item is for Redbird Smith Ceremonial Grounds.
Yes.
That should be Ms. Fulbright and not Ms. Fisher.
Okay. Are there any other additions or corrections? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Next are the law enforcement requests. There's also one of those, a new one's been passed out with some additions. Entertain a motion for its approval.
Move for approval.
Second, with one clarification on the sheet,
Yes.
that I know the police department's asking for a generator to purchase, and that's not noted. It was last minute this morning, so that's not reflecting on the staff. I just want to make sure it's clarified for the record. Thank you.
Any other additions or changes? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
No, we did, yeah, we just.
Next are the roads. And new, one of those was passed out also. Would you like to accept those today?
Yes, just to make sure that everyone has the correct, there are 5 items on the vehicle tax fund in the middle of page 2. Had some last minute changes, I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page. There are 3 projects under the motor fuel, 5 under motor vehicle, and 3 under the bridge and special access.
Entertain a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, under old business, we have the discussion regarding the battle of Cabin Creek land. Councilor Hostin.
Just briefly, Mr. Chairman, the only discussion I wanted to have, I understand the administration decided not to purchase some land. I just wanted to get a little insight on there. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the decision. I just wanted a little discussion about the basis for the decision, what kind of communications you had with Mr. Logan and Benita. I've not talked to him for some time, so. I guess, I thought you were, I'm sorry, well, I thought that was something.
Are you talking to me? Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm going to have to defer to the Resource Department because I just passed the name and number on to them, and I believe Angie had sent you a report, because we talked about it a couple days ago. Had she not sent follow-up email?
Well, what I got originally was just that the decision was made not to purchase it, and what I wanted to know was the basis for the decision. If she sent me that and I missed it, then my apologies to her, but I don't think I've received anything except.
I'll follow up.
Okay.
But I understood that she had followed up again. I think we talked about it early Monday morning because I had seen that it was an issue on the agenda. But my understanding that we had done some research, even with our cultural tourism department at CNE. So it was a collaboration of folks that got together to look at that. Mr. Baker, I think there was some conversation with him and you. But I don't have a response for you other than I thought she had followed up.
And if she did, I'll find it. If she didn't, basis for the decision. And I just want to make sure some communication was made with Mr. Logan in Veneta. And I know you don't know that on the, right now. But
I passed on the information. That's
so, okay.
And I can follow up and let you know.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure. Do you want to leave this on there or?
I'm satisfied with leaving it off. In the future, I'll just
Okay.
follow up directly with the resources. Thank you.
Okay, and I could maybe add some stuff for you later if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Under new business, we have the budget bond, and there were some additions to the one that was in your packet.
Move to pass with addition.
So the motion been made, do I hear a second? Do I hear a second? Okay, any discussion? Councilor Cox.
I would like to make a motion, this is related to this, because I think the budget mod is including these amendments, am I
Yes.
correct? That the Cherokee Phoenix is asking for approximately little over $51,000. And I would like to make a motion that we direct the Speaker of the Council to contract with an independent media review company, which is the Red Hummingbird Media Corporation, to do an independent review of the Phoenix's reporting of this election starting on September 1 through January 25th of this year. And I would like to make the motion that the Speaker use our funds for contracting for such an endeavor to undertake that review. So that's my motion.
Is there a second? So that's, you're making that motion continue, because we have the motion on the floor for the, are you saying that we not? That we amend the
No.
budget mod to include that?
No, I'm saying that because that comes out of our
Okay.
budget specifically. I'm just making that motion in relation to So if it's a separate thing to stand alone,
Then it would be, and we have this one on the floor first.
okay.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I heard that it was a contingency deal. I don't know if she's asking as a separate motion or a friendly amendment to this budget mod, in addition to the amendments in front of us in writing. But that if they're asking for additional money, we're also asking that, of course, this is a contingency on the budget, that it would be a independent review. And of course, that means the speaker then would have to get a cost for us to actually do. So there's no money attached to it. It's the action be taken as a contingency of getting these funds.
We have an
Is that-
estimate, however.
You haven't offered an estimate. That's why we're needing
Okay.
dollar
They
amounts.
they have given us an estimate not to exceed $12,800 for this review.
May I?
Yes.
So-
Counselor Watts?
So what, are you asking for it to come out of the council budget? And do you have a particular part of the budget it come out of?
We contract
Well,
for such
first of all,
things.
excuse me. First of all, either you ask to amend the budget mod to include that stipulation. If that's your motion, then I would entertain it. But if it's a separate motion, then I cannot entertain it at this time.
I'll put it as a, yeah, to make the, help me out here.
It's an amendment to
It's
the
an
budget.
amendment to the budget mod. It is to, and are you offering?
To the budget bond.
Okay, it's an amendment to the
And
budget mod.
I will second it.
It's just a motion. It's not a friendly, it's just a motion, right?
It's not a friendly.
Just a motion.
Councilor Baker?
Mr. Chairman, the speaker has great latitude, and she can pretty well do what she wants to do. But this is a free and independent press. And I just don't think in the middle of the election cycle, we come up and start saying, we're going to scrutinize what you've done, and, how is that free and independent? How is that not intimidation? We're going to hold your funds until you shape up? That doesn't seem right at all.
That's not my motion. I didn't say hold their funds. That's not my motion.
I'm sorry, I thought I heard that the funds were contingent.
No, that's not what I said.
Well, she
That's what my
seconded it,
colleague said.
and
I
what is
didn't
the
say it, I
motion?
was trying to interpret what you were saying.
Right, and that's not what I said.
What are we saying?
We're saying that we are proposing, that I'm making a motion for this independent media review to take place. I'm not saying that the Phoenix's funding is contingent on it taking place.
Then
I am not saying that.
That's in the budget. You're talking about money that's already in the budget that is housekeeping for the council. And I just don't understand how you're tying it to a budget mod. If there's no money involved, and,
Okay.
Right.
So it would be more appropriate, Mr. Chair, that we make this motion after the mod is passed. Is that what you're suggesting?
It would require an amendment to the
But
Yeah,
we'd have to amend the agenda to do that.
right.
So are you withdrawing?
No, I'm not withdrawing the motion.
So the motion, Todd, can you help us with this? Because if it is not contingent on the budget mod, then it would not be part of
Yeah,
it.
the only thing that would be on the agenda for your consideration or new business is the budget modification. Now, any amendment has to be to the budget modification, okay? So therefore, that motion has to relate somehow to the to the budget mod. And from what I understand is that you are asking for a motion to direct the speaker to contract the Red Hummingbird media service using council funds that have already been appropriated to do that, okay? So the motion, and I'm just trying to work this out. How is the motion then related to the budget modification? I don't know.
And see, I don't see that it is either.
It's a separate motion.
And I will withdraw it at the time.
Okay. Is there any other discussion on the budget mod?
I have one question.
Let's do a motion to.
Is the additional funds for the Phoenix, I know they requested some, is it in this budget bond? I apologize.
It's in the amended.
It's in the amended.
Yes, that was passed out, and the motion included those.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Yes.
Just do it.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion on the mod? And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Yes, Councilor Combs.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda at this time then to consider contracting with the Red Hummingbird Media Corporation. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made to amend the agenda to consider the motion to contract with for the speaker to contract with the, what's the name of the company again? Red Hummingbird?
Red Hummingbird Media Corporation.
Okay, so motion's been made and seconded. Okay, Councilor Baker.
And same argument, I don't think that the speaker needs an executive finance, that she doesn't need the money. I don't see that it's proper at this time, and so I, for one, are not going to amend the agenda to do something I think is improper to start with.
Okay. Yes, Councilor Frazier.
Chair, I don't know that we need a motion because we have the funds available, they're already appropriated, so it's just a decision of the speaker. Is that
I agree.
the way you understand?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. I am
Just
doing
withdraw.
Sure.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Do you
I'll
want to?
withdraw.
You withdraw? Okay. Okay, are there any announcements? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
You got to vote on, you didn't pass the budget mod.
Yes, we did.
Oh, you did?
We
Oh.
did. Okay. All those in favor of returning signify by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned.